Well, it appears that it's just business as usual in DC. Corporate fascist America, that we know as a police/surveillance state, has made a big move here very recently. In my opinion, setting the stage for things to come. The House and the Senate both passed the omnibus spending bill, which is a $1.1 trillion spending package, which was branded as a must pass spending bill. The way that they implement this at the end of the year, just before the holidays, is a tactic. This is a well planned and thought out maneuver. The government is faced with a decision. Do they want to uphold the Americans' rights to privacy and freedom, or do they want to fund the federal government? They chose to fund the federal government. Hidden in this 2,000 plus page spending budget is CISA, the Cybersecurity Information Privacy Act. Now that sounds great. It has the word privacy in there, after all, right? Well, this is being branded as the worst anti-privacy bill since the Patriot Act. This is being called the Second Patriot Act. And what this does is this allows corporations and governments to remove themselves of any kind of liability, whether it be criminal, whatever, in regards to gathering your information. Every little bit of data and information they can about you legally. The corporations will be doing this, and they'll be providing that information directly to law enforcement agencies to where they can use that information against you in criminal investigations without a warrant. This is a big time red alert here. Now, this is not the first time that CISA has been proposed. Previously, it was met with strong opposition, even from well-known mega corporations like Apple, Twitter, Reddit, even Facebook said that they were against this to begin with. Well, since then, they took CISA off the table and they tweaked it, and they actually made it worse. And then they snuck it into this quote-unquote must-pass spending bill that had to pass, otherwise there was going to be a government shutdown. And of course, they fast-tracked this right before the holidays when people are leaving town. People don't have time to read it because it's being fast-tracked. They don't have time to think about it or even debate it. Yeah, they rammed through some hardcore anti-privacy, what is soon to become law as soon as Obama signs this, and he is expected to sign this, as, like I stated before, the House and the Senate both passed this. Now, in addition to the hardcore anti-privacy aspect that was snuck into this law, snuck into it, okay? When was the last time your government did anything that helped you out, that bailed you out, benefited you? Did it because it's actually looking out for you? No, this is not the plan. This is not the agenda. It's been this government has been compromised at the highest levels, and the puppet masters that sit on top are currently doing everything that they can to dismantle and destabilize this country before they part it out, basically, and bring in the next phase. Another thing that was snuck into this budget that was passed, this quote-unquote must-pass spending bill, of course in fear of the government shutdown, was basically every one of Obama's refugee resettlement operations. The Middle East immigration programs, the sanctuary cities, Obama's continued executive amnesty for the Dreamers, and the resettlement of the illegal aliens within the U.S. interior. This is going to be bringing in what they state 300,000 visas for Muslims in the next year. Over one half of those visas will be permanent, 170,000 of them. Now, I have to be honest with you, I am no way, in any way, shape, or form, anti-Muslim. To be honest with you, I love everyone. If you are a good person, if you have a good heart, I have nothing but love for you. I have friends that are Muslims. I have friends that are Christians. I have friends that are atheists. I judge a person on their character. Actually, I try not to judge anyone, but I mean, I choose my friends by their deeds and their character, not by their religion. That's their business. This goes right along with the operations to destroy this country that I believe we are witnessing right now, and we are coming up on the final phases of that operation. This spending package, this $1.1 trillion spending package, is going to set the stage for this next year, Obama's final year in office. And as soon as he gets back from this taxpayer-paid vacation that he's taking in Hawaii for like the 8th year in a row, that he should be thanking you for because you paid for part of it. He's going to come after the guns right away. It's in my opinion that we're going to see some major false flags take place. One thing I want to point out is when CISA was initially proposed and it was met with all this opposition, and then now all of a sudden it gets passed, it gets snuck into this bill, rammed through. Well, I'm sure a lot of people that voted on this knew that this was in there. I knew it was in there before they voted on it. I'm just some guy, right? Well, what's changed since then? Well, we've had a few false flag attacks now, haven't we? We've had some quote unquote terrorism, haven't we? I want to show you exactly who voted for this. Here are the 316 yays. I'm going to leave a link. You can come through here and read it and add these people to the tyrant list, because these people feel that keeping the federal government going, funded, is way more important than the Americans' civil liberties and rights to privacy. And in my opinion, national security potentially, because we know that they're going to use these refugee crises in the Middle East to infiltrate their assets into the West to carry out more attacks. Here's a look at the nays, 113 of them. And for those of you wondering just who happened to write this bill, well, it was 4 politicians and many, many lobbyists. Because at the end of the day, that's who runs this country. The lobbyists, the corporations, the corrupt politicians, the military-industrial complex, and on and on. And I'm sure you're not surprised. You do not have this look on your face like Mel Gibson does right here, because I sure don't. So at this point in time, we have the ultimate merger taking place. We are witnessing between corporations, mega corporations, and government. And they feel that you are a threat to them. Other than the fact that you're paying their salaries and buying their garbage products or services, other than that, you're a threat to them. You're a slave to this system that is engineered to collapse. It's been manipulated. It's being propped up for so long. They're getting ready for the next stage, and that is collapse. And that collapse will be engineered, steered, and managed in a way it'll benefit these same people, these banksters, these corporate elite. I mean, the puppet masters, the people that sit up on top of all this, these bloodlines, these families that have been around forever, funding both sides of every war, playing them off against each other, and then choosing the winner and rewriting history. And the way that they're going to usher in their next phases, they're going to do so with crises. They're going to launch more false flags. There's going to be big time events, in my own personal opinion. So get ready for that. Be ready for that. I'm not saying live in fear. I don't live in fear. I'm not scared of a damn thing. The only thing I'm scared of is looking back on my life one day and wishing I would have done more. Till next time, this is Spiro. Much love.